Welcome to Stupid for Dexter! Woo! Woo!
Welcome back, Mandy. So good to have you back.
Thank you, Kat. It's good to be back. And over there we have producer Mike.
That's right.
Hi, producer Mike.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going over there?
All right, we're just getting stuff ready for the show. It's very exciting.
Okay.
We
Ooh.
got a TriCaster thing. We got Elaine once again on the TriCaster.
Woo!
Yes, Elaine.
Do the show.
Let's
All
do
right.
this.
So, last night we saw episode 6. Everything is illuminated. Illuminated. So, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. There was a little bit of dark comedy. I enjoyed. I felt like things had gotten so very dramatic, serious. There was a little soap opera seriousness going on, and this one was very like, oh, we got another dead body. Where are we going to hide it? Wah, wah. But I did enjoy it. I felt like it needed that little lift, and a little bit of progress in this episode too. So plot was moving along. What'd you think?
I agree. You know, we have Dexter is back in his place, and everything is normal for him in his little place that he started at. And then, of course, he's planning his kill. Lumen calls. Chaos.
Oops.
But then at the end of the episode, he's agreed to help Lumen out.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then a couple side plots.
Angel and Maria have a little tiff. They seem to make up, though. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
More of the bar fight drama. It's like, just be over with it.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I liked Batista in this episode. He was like sexy cool.
He was. He was getting his groove back.
And then, of course, there's Deb and Quinn.
That is progressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much so that, aren't they now an item?
They are. She's living with him because you don't care?
I don't care.
I do.
I do
Don't care about
because...
her personal relationships that mean nothing to anything. And it's Quinn, and I don't care.
Well, the reason I care is because I think it's gonna make it more dramatic for this whole Dexter's getting into trouble. Does Deb believe Dexter, or what's Quinn saying about Dexter? You know, I think it's going to add more drama. I think it's going to add more conflict. That's why I care. Do I really care if Quinn and Deb love each other? No.
I'm not really that invested, but it's interesting because now that she's moving more into his life, we have RoboCop showing up. Yeah. So, I can't wait to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But, should we maybe move on to our very first segment?
Sure. We have our first segment called Killer Moments. Yes, just in case you didn't get that. Killer moments! So this is when Kat and I talk about moments throughout the episode that we feel are important in some way, that move the story along, or that we just plain loved. So
Absolutely.
Which is one you liked, or you thought was important?
Oh, goodness. Moment that I really liked was Dexter's in the middle, almost going to make a kill. He's got his killer them all set up. All season he hasn't been able to do his thing, and he gets a phone call. And it's Lumen. And she's still in Miami. And she tried to kill a guy. And she needs Dexter to come help her clean up her dirty work. I enjoyed that very much because that was a moment I felt when Dexter could have made a huge decision as to... It could have gone one of two ways. You know, could have gone and helped her, which he did, or... you know, just been done with it. I mean, I don't think being done with it would have been a very smart move because there's a lot of loose strings hanging, but I mean, he made the decision on his own free will to go help her out. And even when she was difficult, he went about he did what Dexter does best. And that was, you know, analyzing the situation and cleaning it up.
I liked that he got pissed. I mean, here's this girl promising, he gets her the freaking plane ticket. You know, she promises she's going to go back to Miami, although that was a dramatic scene where the person in the airport, she got freaked out. But now she's back in this town, and it's just causing so much chaos for poor Dexter.
So much drama.
Yeah.
And then she sassed him. She had the gall to sass Dexter. She's like, well, F you. And Dexter's like, F me? What? Like, I just would have... She's a little backhand.
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
I know, and she's all complaining. She's like, he put his fingers in my... I would have stuffed my fingers right back in her mouth.
Wow.
I don't appreciate it.
All right.
You buy the girl a plane ticket. You give her your dead wife's robe to go have a little bath in the creepy dead person bathtub.
Wow.
And she sasses you. I wanted to smack her upside the head. She has no manners. She has no manners.
What I saw in last Stupid for Dexter episode where you're a little envious of the Lumen?
I'm not envious. Oh, snap. No, I don't like people disrespecting my Dexter. It's not an envy thing. Not at all.
Okay.
Just that, look, if you have the opportunity to be around someone so completely dark and evil and adorable, you don't sass them as rude, as just poor manners. Anywho.
Well, anywho.
Don't mind me.
One of my favorite killer moments, which actually turned into one of my favorite full-on scenes, really, is when the dude in the plastic wrap runs out, Dexter's chasing him, cut to Deb and the gang.
Oh, God.
He finally tackles the guy in the plastic wrap. That was awesome. That was, in my mind, the killer moment. But the killer scene that I loved so much was just, for my own guilty pleasure, was hearing Masuka analyze that scene that Dexter created with the guy in the plastic wrap and, you know, the bad Lumen rape dude next to the plastic wrap guy. And I had to quote it because it's my favorite. 2 words: autoerotic mummification. Mr. Plastic Man and Captain Bloody Underpants. I love that. Masuka's back.
He is back, and thank God. It was so good. And they had, you know, the background with Dexter's talking over it, and then, you know, just Masuka miming everything. It was fabulous. His little dance, his little...
The Masuka charades, as Dex Deb in the chat room puts it.
Yes. Masuka charades, very good.
Oh, it was so good.
And you know the killer moment that I named when the plastic wrap guy started running away. The reason I love that is because we're seeing more and more hints of Deb being confused about Dexter. Why is Dexter here when he just was on the phone with her saying, I'm going to be late? But there he is. Why were there sunglasses in his truck in the very beginning of the episode? Whose sunglasses were those? Lumen's. You know, she's getting more and more clues. We'll get to more of that in predictions.
Will she open her eyes? I don't know. Oh, yeah, because this is the second time there's been one of those really huge Dexter's already at this location moments. There was a Trinity one, and now this was a big one. It was like, when they turned the corner in Dexter's car, it was like, I really had a moment where I was like, how's he gonna, how do you do this? How do you recover from this one? But he did it beautifully, you know?
I loved it. I loved the little scene he put together.
It was nice, and the little moment with the plastic wrap dude, I could just hear yakety sax playing in the background. I enjoyed it very much.
Waka waka waka.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And then I had another killer moment.
I would love to hear
at the very end of the episode when, after that you know, gasp scene of her in the bathtub, Dexter and her bond, and he's going to help her out.
Yeah, a little apprenticeship, little mentorship.
Yeah. But
I'm concerned. It seems, in theory, like a great idea. She's a loose cannon, though. She's got that smell. Marth, we know she's a smart Marth, and I can't even speak right now. Anyway, she's got one of those.
She got smart mouth.
She got smart mouth. And she, you know, under stress, she's shown when she tried to go into, you know, Pedo Bridge area and try to kill the guy.
She needs therapy.
She needs therapy.
Yes.
She doesn't need a gun. She needs therapy.
She does. She does need some help. And I think she's just looking towards Dexter as the one and only that really understands her. And
sure.
We'll see what happens.
It's interesting, yeah. So she's officially under his wing, it looks like.
Yeah.
Is she going to live in the house? I mean...
Ooh, that could be awkward.
Ooh, then the nanny finally may have something going on.
Finally.
Yeah.
Although somebody brought up a good point on the YouTube page. They're like, how long before the nanny finds the blood slides?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now the slides are back in their place.
That's right. Cleaning.
Right.
She seems like a good cleaner.
She's very thorough.
She's very thorough.
Well, there's throughout our killer moments, I did find myself analyzing Lumen, analyzing Dexter, wondering why they're doing what they're doing. And of course, we have our expert on tonight.
That's right.
Randy Gyorffy. I'm not going to go into his bio.
That was 3 already? Did we already go over all the points?
We did. Was that too quick?
Wow, yeah.
We can expand.
I think we had a couple fans that wanted to call in actually and discuss their favorite moments.
Please.
So hold on, I was waiting for that to come in. Here we go.
Oh, well, snap. People want to talk to us. Finally. Look at us.
Hold on, the call's coming in.
So
we don't want to
excited.
intimidate. Talk to us.
Are you there, caller?
Hold on, the call's coming in.
Oh, here we go, accepting.
Are you there, caller?
Yes. All right, hold on. Let's get you on video.
Are you there, caller?
You got to turn off your Skype.
You on video?
Turn off your Ustream and keep your Skype on.
Turn off your Skype. Whoa.
Turn off Ustream, keep your Skype on, because we can hear feedback. Turn off the Ustream sound. All right, there you are. All right, can we hear you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
You are on.
Yes, somehow.
Welcome to Stupid for Dexter.
Yeah, welcome. What's your name?
Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, the bit with the bathtub. What do you think about it? The bit where, oh god, Lumen looks exactly like Rita.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen with them two?
Oh, it's interesting.
Where are you calling from?
UK.
UK.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh,
Awesome.
we're international. Look at us.
You know, I that's a very good question. I know there's a lot of people out there are wondering if they're going to get romantic, and I don't think so. I don't think so personally. I think that it's going to be more of a Dexter shielding her from harm, almost like she's a bit of a younger sister, maybe. I mean, there might be some tension. I mean, the whole fact that she was in a bathtub, obviously naked, but I didn't get that. I got more of a, I'm going to protect this woman because I didn't protect my last female in my life.
I got that feeling too. Where it was like, oh, this is Dexter's version of Rita 2.0. Better not let this one break apart. Oops. You know, it's almost like there's no way to really rewind to get revenge for what happened to Rita. But if he can protect this new young lady in his life, maybe it will not only hide the pain that he may or may not feel, but it will give him a new project. But I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, what did you think?
I think they're going to become an item, to be honest.
Really? Ooh.
If you saw it from the later episode, there's a point where Dexter goes and touches the sugar, and he ends up eating it, like a sexual innuendo type of thing. If you get what I mean.
Interesting.
When did this happen? Did I miss this? Is it in a preview?
No, it wasn't in a preview. Was it episode 5?
Oh, wow. I'm glad you caught that.
Oh, with the sugar packets.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because she did the thing where she was always tearing them apart. Interesting. Tim, you bring up a...
Well, you know what?
good evidence.
You are definitely not the only one. I don't know if you go on the Showtime forum. I'm on that, and a lot of the people on that forum think that something romantic is going to happen.
And also, I think that Dexter's somewhat going to try and protect her a lot more, because you see, like, Harry, like, he's like sort of like, what's the word? He sort of sees himself within Lumen as well.
Right.
So I think he's going to try and tell her not to go to where, like, Dexter is. Like, because Dexter is pretty much killing everyone at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to kill everyone. What I love about this season so far, which I don't love, but then I kind of love because now it's just become a series of comedy bits, is that Dexter continuously cannot get anybody in the kill room. Right? He hasn't gotten any. He had the one guy in his kill, which wasn't in the kill room, right? He hasn't killed anybody in the kill room this whole entire season.
Not in
So
the
now it's
official
become
film.
like this Marx Brothers type film, where or you know, it's kind of that. It's very you know,
Midway
physical
wrapping-
comedy.
yeah, he was wrapping this guy up. He
Yeah.
was keeping him fresh.
Yep.
Autoerotic, what was it? Autoerotic mummification.
Yes, with Masuka's miming out of the entire procedure, I guess.
I love it.
It was beautiful how Dexter somehow just manages to do that so quickly.
Yes.
Like a real crime.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you so much. It was Tim, right?
Yeah, Tim.
Tim from the UK.
Thank you so much for calling. We really, really appreciate this.
Absolutely.
And keep watching Dexter. Keep watching Stupid for Dexter, and call us anytime. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Oh yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Bye, Tim.
Hi.
That was awesome.
That was so cool. I want reports back from Tim as the season progresses, because I love it. Because, you know, I have my views, you have your views, and other people have theirs. But I know that when I get my view, I look for evidence that really only corresponds to
Like
my
the sugar
view.
packet thing.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
That is such a subtle, possible piece of evidence that there might be something more in the future.
I see how that may happen. You know, I see the whole romance thing. I still am not totally sold on it, but hey, you know, Tim's not the only one. Tons of people are digging the romance thing. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
The romance between Lumen?
Possible romance.
No.
Yeah,
I don't see
think
it.
so either.
I don't see it because, well, I mean, maybe from her side, I'm trying to think like, okay, so you have the rape victim of what? Yeah, I don't think so. I think, you know, obviously she's gonna feel more comfortable with him, so she might, from her point of view, mistake that. But I think we can definitely talk to Randy about that.
Yeah.
Psychologically, how does that work?
Yeah.
But from Dexter's viewpoint, I don't think so. I think he's trying to cover his own ass at this point. But then again, number one, he's trying to cover his own ass. Number two, it's giving him the opportunity to kill.
Yeah, it does say in the preview that I'm wanting to help.
Yes, yeah. But is it wanting to help her or wanting to help his own dark passenger?
I don't know.
That's the question. But we have Randy for that. Hold on.
Randy, our sociology expert,
That's right.
back with us again.
Fabulous.
Are you there?
I'm here. I'm not sure I can completely hear you, though, Mike.
Oh no, let's see.
Oh, you're there. You're coming in, Kat.
Oh yeah?
Can you hear me too?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now? All right.
Fabulous.
So Randy is going to talk in our segment we like to call Driving the Dark Passenger.
Very nice.
So Randy, what did you think about this episode? On the whole?
I didn't love it as much as you did, Mandy.
No?
Nah.
Okay.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah, Mike, actually, when you were saying you didn't want to see the relationships, I was kind of bummed that Dexter had that guy all taped up in his room ready to go, and we didn't get to see the plot line really of how that all even unfolded. They did it very quickly.
Yeah, which you knew immediately something was going to go wrong. At least for me, for a writer viewpoint, I went, oh, that's the first time ever there was no backstory to this kill. Obviously, this kill is not going to happen. I immediately went, okay, this that doesn't make sense.
Sure.
It's a complete plot line point that has nothing to do with this guy. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, and I'll just say this really quickly, I'm wondering if I truly like this episode or if I'm kind of haven't liked the ones in the past, so I'm easier on this one. I hope I'm not being like that. It's like my dad when he likes these like silly zombie horrible movies, but it's just because there hasn't been a good one in a while, so he's like easier on the ones that are coming out now, you know? I hope I'm not being easy on it.
Randy, what do you think about, we just got asked about the relationship. Is that going to blossom? And from a sociological viewpoint, a social worker viewpoint, could that? I mean, how would she view Dexter? How does Dexter view her? What's your insight on that?
Yeah, actually, Mike, I'm thinking it will be. I agree with Tim. I like Tim from UK. I see it's happening. We talked, was it a week or two ago, we addressed the Stockholm Syndrome.
Yes, I remember that.
Dexter was also our captor for a while there. and she is the only human being, really, that she's having any relationship after her captivity. And he's sympathetic to the cause. He understands her. He even says, I think later in the show, he even says, I actually want to help her. He's very sympathetic to her. So, and while she's sitting there on the floor, because she could see he's feeling bad, he just had his flashback with Rita. She's sitting there on the floor. It was almost seductive in an odd way while she's wearing her bathrobe, and yeah, something's going to happen there.
I think, if anything, she will see Dexter as a daddy figure and fall for him. I don't think he's going to go for her. I just think he's on another plane. He's got other motives. I just think, but you know, why? Then I ask myself, and I'll ask you, why does he feel the need to help Lumen?
The writer's making him do that, Mandy.
I see.
No other reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from an actual, from a social worker standpoint, would that normally happen? Would he, I mean, let's say they're real people, obviously we know they're not, but let's say they were, let's say they have that kind of psychological, you know, maybe they have a consultant on staff. Does this make sense? Dexter helping her?
That he's helping her?
Yeah.
Well, he did say, Mike, he's feeling responsible for her. He said somewhere in the middle of this episode, I feel responsible for everything she does leads back to him. Mm-hmm. So if anything, he's not romantically involved. He is taking her under his wing. She is his new apprentice.
Yeah.
Is it normal? And then I remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about that. I really thought a couple of weeks ago that there isn't a whole lot of way out of this for her to not end in death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some burn him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still feel like, even if I'm trying to be more open to the idea that sure they could be romantically involved, but I mean, if it did happen, it would be so unstable. I just don't feel it would last very long at all. It would just.
I'm kind of curious about this whole, Lumen possibly getting killed thing. I'm wondering if maybe you or someone in the chat room knows how many episodes is Julia Stiles on for. I don't know. I don't know if that's ruining.
We don't want to know.
We don't want to know. Never mind.
Oh, wait,
No, because people definitely, I mean, look, if you go to imdb.com, you can find out exactly how many episodes she's on. I have not looked. We will not say that on this show. If we have looked, we will not give that away. That's a spoiler.
Okay.
So we will not say, if it's the season, we're not going to say, let it go and moving on.
Hold on a second.
So, Randy.
No, you can't. No.
I'm
Cat,
not
no.
gonna,
We're on the air.
Talk to her later. We'll talk later.
We will not spoil the show for people watching.
So, why, I mean, I guess going more into the whole Lumen Dexter at the end of the episode, why are they, I mean, Dexter was not careful at first telling her his real name, but now she's back in Miami, and in the middle of the episode, he said, well, this spray that I have, it's a long story. I can't explain why I have this. But then at the end of the episode, they both share their whole life. I mean, is this what would really happen in this type of situation, or what do you think?
In a Dexter situation, sure. I mean, his grounding force was Rita, right? That was his connection to the quote-unquote normal world, was Rita. He's not fully connected to that now, and here's Lumen, she's born from blood, not, she didn't see her mother die, but she's a kindred spirit. She's born from blood just like him. He's having a lot of sympathy for her in his own way, but really it's almost like she's going to become the partner. She's the apprentice, as I said earlier. Is it normal? Nothing normal happens on Dexter. Man, Kat, you were saying, it might be a dysfunctional sexual relationship. That would be normal for Dexter, though. So
yeah,
you don't really see that being a problem.
Touche, Randy.
Can I say something I just realized related to that? So he sprayed that stuff that then turned to blood blue. Mm-hmm. Now, Masuka shows up. Won't that stay blue? Won't he see that? But it wasn't. It was red. Won't he go, hey, somebody was already here and tested this. That's a little strange. I look for these problems in scripts.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm guessing I don't think it turns blue and then goes back to red. Maybe it does.
I don't know.
Any criminologist experts out there in the chat room, let me know.
I don't know if they got as far as those spots that he sprayed.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they tracked the spots the whole way to find. Yeah.
But afterwards, once he got up.
Well, but even so, if he's a blood expert, he knows now he has tainted this. So isn't he thinking ahead of, like, if I spray this, then then Masuka's going to come, or I'm going to have to somehow hide this that it's already been sprayed.
Did Lumen get to cleaning up anything?
Yeah, she just sprayed down the guy.
hose.
She
Yeah,
hosed
she
down.
But it was just in that side room. It wasn't throughout the
Just one of my. I'm always looking for those logical
Probably
issues.
They're probably hoping the audience just thought Lumen cleaned it, maybe.
Well, no, there's a little.
Well,
blood.
actually,
Oh wait.
Mike, there's a problem with the hose.
Yeah.
Mr. even said, you might, in the end, while he's making all those funny little statements, he goes, you might want to check that hose end. Well, right there,
Right.
it has her fingerprints all over.
Right,
So
and then obviously,
problem.
yeah, and we're just supposed to go, oh, they solved it, and that's, Dexter neatly wrapped it up with the voiceover, which, I don't know, script-wise, we always learn the voiceover when you're writing script is the lamest way to get around a plot point. It's the easy way. It is. It's the very easy way of writing something and getting on with it and not thinking smartly outside the box of how to write something. If you want to write something and say something, do a cheap voiceover. That's what they did. And therefore, all the evidence will be locked away. It'll never be seen again. And moving on.
I thought of a term.
I don't know. That's kind of lame.
May I share my term with everybody?
Sure.
Instead of Deus Ex Machina, Dexter Ex Machina.
I didn't get it.
Dexter and the Machine.
Oh.
Yeah. Deus Ex Machina is a literary term that if you have a really complicated situation at the end of the story that won't be resolved by any other way than God intervening, and God comes down and everything's good again. That's Deus Ex Machina. So Dexter Ex Machina, that's
Wow.
his little voiceover at the end
All
of
right.
the episode.
I
to
like
wrap
it.
things up in a nice little box.
Yeah. Okay.
So Randy, one thing that Kat and I both noticed very much so, and we were wondering what you thought about this, since it is kind of a sociology point. Why no Harry? Where
Yeah.
was Harry this whole time?
Where was his conscience the entire episode? Towards the end, I was thinking that too. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? But we know in the last couple episodes, he's been battling Harry. Are you listening to me? Harry yells at him, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Well, now, in all the situations of stress that Harry usually comes in as the voice of reason, wasn't even there. He wasn't there on the crime scene when Dexter was making all those mistakes. Normally, Harry would have shown up as soon as those glasses were found. Like, I don't remember Rita having those glasses. Harry would have been right over his shoulder, going, you're getting clumsy, but just not there. Dexter is now just following his own will.
Oh, man.
What do you think's going to happen with that? Do you have any
I hope
predictions?
back next. Harry's not going anywhere. That's the main conscience. He just wasn't here for an episode, but it is strange that he is taking a lesser and lesser role. We're going to see him back. He's too much fun to not have on the show.
Yeah.
This is true.
Look,
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen, like season 5 wise? Any predictions?
no, RoboCop's not going to live through the season. That would be my next thing I'd want to say. The guy's too creepy. Whether Quinn's going to make it or not, don't know, but RoboCop's going to... Dexter's probably going to take him out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad Randy thinks he's creepy too, because he looks like
yeah.
a Bond villain, and he talks like one too.
I like it. I like his character,
He's a
and I
cartoon.
think he's going to die too. That's for sure. But he's definitely creepy.
Every time I see him, I just repeat his lines because I'm making fun of him. Because
He's like
I
a
don't.
creepy uncle.
Well, it's just the line. I don't know. It's just over the top acting, or it's supposed to be. But God, I wish I could think of a line right now. But it's you're sleeping with the enemy, or whatever he said exactly. But boning. But it's just so
Maybe
oddly.
that's how they used to take care of business.
But it's just such a weird way he's
Yep.
speaking
Yeah.
that I just laugh every time.
Yeah. I like
So
him.
that's
He's
me.
likable. I like his shirts.
He does
colorful
have
shirt.
nice shirts.
What?
For a
I didn't
man
notice.
in Miami that's up there in age,
Okay.
stuck in the 70s. Anyway, Randy, any more predictions for the season, or any predictions for
Next
Quinn
episode?
and Deb, even, or the next episode? Yeah. What do you
Do we
think?
have to talk about Quinn and Deb?
No, exactly, right? You're with me.
I am so with you on this particular page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't care.
He needs to eat a couple cheeseburgers. That's my only prediction. He is losing weight, so
Yeah.
he needs to eat. Little eating disorder going on there.
Right. Yeah, what was the scene? Was that scene, so you had the Deb getting jealous because he's hitting on all these ladies.
That's
now,
right.
if he's hitting on all the ladies, he doesn't care about Deb, but then he cared about Deb at the end, or was that scene just existing to set up the fake Batista on the couch with the other girl? Was it just a setup, like everybody's flirting with these girls, and it was just to get in our head? Or was it something else with Quinn of this, you know, or was it just to show he's a bad guy and Deb doesn't care because Deb likes bad boys? But, I mean, what was the point of that whole scene, really, other than to go, you're getting jealous? Was there any other point to it?
Maybe to show that, you know, Quinn still has that bad part in him, you know? But I do think he likes Deborah. And I think I don't care about Deb and Quinn as a couple. I really don't. The only thing I care about is the conflict that brings when it comes to Deb and Dexter. That's why I like it. It's just another thing to
I just remember this.
Dexter.
What happened to the interesting plot point of Deb found out who Dexter's mom was, right? Wasn't that the end of the year last
Yes, that
season
was,
last season? She got the she was getting the evidence and then nothing happened. Dead end. That was it.
She decided to give some information about that situation to Dexter and then withhold some information.
Right, but that's what let's talk about it. Come on, Deb. Who cares about Quinn? Talk about this.
Yeah. She's a smart lady. She knows more than she shows. I think that's going to be a conflict later on, and I think the whole Quinn thing is just building into that.
I'm just
I
wondering.
Still think Quinn is evil. I still think that this is all to be evil.
And when they go out to eat, it's probably pretty cheap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Between the two of them.
They don't eat much. All right.
Well, Randy, thank you so much for joining us. We really
Thank you, Randy.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Randy.
That's all.
And we'll see you
everybody.
next week.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Randy.
I know. The whole Quinn thing, I just think they were starting something last season, and now they're trying to put him back in, and they're trying to figure things out. I don't know. Anyone in the chat room have any thoughts about that?
Well, what happens is, when I'm in the chat room, when I'm on Skype, I can't see the chat room, so now I'm going to...
Understood. All right, well.
We'll stall.
Yeah. I mean, here's my beef. So, he seems, Quinn, genuine when he's like, oh, yeah, Deb, I really like you. I want to have this relationship.
I believe it.
But I'm hanging out with RoboCop. The fact that he's doing both of those things with such... I mean, he's kind of...
Well, you saw the preview, didn't you?
Yeah, I just...
He's going to pull away from RoboCop.
I
think he likes the Deb.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't trust him. I do think that it is necessary, though, like you said, to have this huge plot crescendo where Deb, with, you know, the evidence and knowledge that she does have, really needs to decide if she, you know, is Team Dexter or not, or throw Team Dexter in jail. So, she's a Dexter fan.
Yeah, she needs that brotherly help. She doesn't have many people on her side, so, you know.
The people she keeps choosing who aren't Dexter keep dying.
Yeah. And they've created, with Michael C. Hall acting out Dexter, he's just everyone loves him, even though he's a killer.
Oh, he's just precious.
Well, what do you guys, I guess, what are your predictions for next week, then? For the next episode?
What do you think, Kat?
Really want Lumen to either calm down or go away. Yeah. She's not going to do either. So,
well, I think she might. I don't know if it's necessarily calmed down, but I think now that she's, you know, having Dexter's help, I think she will become a little more careful and learn from Dexter. I do.
I hope so, because I mean, I think that is, like we discussed, the only way she's going to survive at all. So that will be interesting to see. What this new mentorship will bring. I'm excited to see what that will bring. I really do feel that there is a part of her that wants to learn and that will adhere to whatever Dexter says and will be a genuinely good student. And I hope that my prediction's true because there is a part of me that likes her. I don't completely hate Lumen. Like, please, don't. I'm not a hater. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
I think she's a little jealous of Lumen. You gotta be honest.
Am so
I'm pretty sure because I want to.
How dare you?
Do you not want to be Dexter's? You don't want to be taught by Dexter how to?
I would be much
taught by Dexter.
better student. Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, much better suited. That indicates jealousy. You just said I'd be much better suited. Thus indicating maybe we need Randy. Maybe we need an hour of Randy and you live discussing your Lumen.
Tell me about your situation with Lumen.
There is no situation.
Does it remind you of your father?
Casey Dareem in the chat room feels something bad's going to happen to Deb that Quinn may have to do with. Quinn may do something bad to Deb. Do
you think? Well, I see. Who is this? A woman?
Casey Dareem. I don't know if it's a female or male.
Casey, I think they have a point. I think I don't know if it's going to necessarily be Quinn. I think it's going to be Stan, a.k.a. RoboCop, a.k.a. Peter Weller. I think he is going to get in the middle of this because right in the preview, he wants to make some harsh things happen to this Dexter. And I think Deb's going to get in the way because she's always trying to find what's going here, what's going there. She's always, you know, in a good way, sticking her nose into these.
She's a good cop. Yeah. She investigates. She does a good job of it.
She might get hurt. I just don't know if it's going to be all Quinn's fault. I think Stan is going to be...
It will completely be Quinn's fault. It will. He is just bad news bears. There is nothing good that will come of Quinn.
I feel my prediction is we've spent way too much time on Quinn.
Okay, fine. No more Quinn.
Don't care.
I was honoring Casey's comment.
This is
yes,
true.
I know.
Here's
Nanny.
Yeah, Nanny bores me. Whatever.
She's gonna get those slides. She's gonna find something.
You know what? Die. Just like Harrison says. Die, Nanny.
Well.
Die. I like that he says that. It was funny to me. Die. Just like Dad.
Yeah, you know. She said bye-bye. No, he didn't.
The thing with the nanny is why it's boring for me. It's not her fault, blah, blah, blah. But she's just not in it a lot. I don't know what's going on with her. She's too good to be true. She's there taking care of the kid, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think it's starting to feel like the nanny simply exists to let Dexter go out at night.
Yeah.
Dexter's going out at night. But then it could have been Deb, but then, you know, they hooked Deb up so she couldn't do it anymore. So there's probably something obviously going to happen that's going to dun, you know, something.
Yeah.
But
finding the slides is...
That seems to be, I forgot who said that, but somebody on YouTube. We could check youtube.com/Streamin Garage. All the videos are on there, and I forget, but they definitely put that there.
I really hope Harry comes back.
Yeah, Harry will come back.
I know he will,
but Randy is right in that, because he's too important.
I want to see him next week in, like, the first half of the show. I want things, I feel like it's a sailboat that's kind of lost its wind, and I think that a little bit of direction would be super
And you
bueno.
think they're going to get romantic? Lumen and Dexter?
I don't. I'm open-minded to it, so I really haven't formed, you know, but my feel was very father-child, student-teacher. I really didn't get, like when she was in the bathtub and being all creepy Rita style, I didn't get like this, oh, I saw her naked. I felt more like, oh, you know, she wants her private. I didn't get a
And I think the writers did a good job on that by showing all these, like, flashbacks inside Dexter's head, like all this, how that really bothered him. It wasn't just, oh, look at her, she's naked in this tub. You know, it was like, oh my gosh, my wife was just there and she was all bloody, and I liked how they did that. That was kind of cool.
It was well done.
Any predictions for you, Mr. Mike?
I'm gonna say don't care about 3 times during the show, which usually means it's a Deb, Quinn, or it's a Batista and his wife thing, where I'm always like, don't care, move on, don't care. Don't care. But no, I don't know. You know, I think the Lumen thing, obviously, he's going to, as we saw, he's going to fight against her people. But eventually she's going to be dead. There's no doubt about it. I think Randy's completely on that. And I think the blood slide's going to be interesting because they touched upon it. They touched upon it. Everything's back in place in the blood slide. So right there you go, okay, something's got to happen with that, with the nanny. That would only make sense.
There's got to be people out there in the chat room that don't think Lumen's going to die. I mean, what are they? Does anyone out there have any ideas? Is Lumen going to die? Will Dexter kill Lumen? Will Stan, aka RoboCop, kill Lumen? Will Stan, aka RoboCop, kill Deb?
aka RoboCop.
Da, da, da.
What's going to happen?
I don't know, but I noticed that the chief of police sounds an awful lot like the Unsolved Mysteries guy.
Tim says Lumen is not going to die.
Oh!
Tim, we just called in, but let's see why.
Tim from the UK. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes.
Casey Dream says she will marry Dexter by the end of the show.
What? No.
What?
I don't know. That's what Casey Dream feels.
Oh, Casey,
boy.
really?
You know what though? Kudos to her or him. That is a bold choice. I hope they stand by, because I want to hear their evidence and I want to hear their opinions.
Before this episode aired, I went on the forum and I thought Dexter was going to kill Lumen, or have to end up killing her because she got too messy, blah, blah.
Sure.
Now, I agree with Tim. I agree with Tim.
I like Lucid. Lucid 129-1.
Ooh.
Not 129, 129-1. Lumen will kill RoboCop and Quinn will kill her.
Ooh. Nice. I could see that happening.
somehow they get involved with Lumen. They think Lumen's dating Dexter, maybe it's that kind of weird thing, and then they want to get even with Dexter somehow, so they take, now I'm thinking like underground
Sure.
Well,
sort
I
of weird
definitely
stuff.
think Stan is going to open up some books on Dexter. I really think he's going to go to town on him. I really do.
That's why I think the Deb thing might be this big finale crusher, whether, if she opens her eyes to Dexter's true nature, because, RoboCop, he's just going to tear everything apart.
Gosh, what if Deb dies? Is that so what for you?
No, that'd be great.
That would be.
Moving on.
That'd be.
It would just be like his wife dying. Good. Taking up too much of my time. Don't care.
Leave Deb alone. She's gotten so fabulous.
You're like that Britney Spears.
Wait, you like Deb now?
Leave
Deb
Deb alone. I'll put a sheet over my head. Leave Deb alone.
Put it on YouTube. We got hits. All right. I think that's
Deb,
we got everybody in the chat room, so I think we can wrap this up. You guys
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Let's talk about. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the trivia.
Basically, Paul's not coming tonight. We have our trivia man, but he was very busy tonight. We will see him next time. But we also have a contest that's going on. I saw that you guys started it up last week.
That's right.
And it's on YouTube, isn't it?
It is on YouTube.
But no one's answering the question.
Well, they've tried, but you've got to do a video response.
Yeah, here's the deal. So on YouTube, you got to do a video response. You can't just comment. Why? Because then people will know about us and get us more hits. That's really, it's marketing. So do a video response, answer all 5 questions, and now, we'll start, we'll take all the video responses that are put up there, and next week, hopefully we'll have a winner.
Okay.
And we'll pick a winner from those correct video responses. Some people wanted a video response today in here, Skyping, and I went, no, it doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Don't care. YouTube.com/Streamin Garage, without the G, Streamin Garage. And that's where all our videos are, and you guys are doing amazing, because we've got a bunch of shows in Streamin Garage. Stupid for Movies on Thursday nights, Strip Down Live on Wednesday nights, and our top new show, Stupid for Dexter! Usually Monday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific time live, but now if you Google Dexter, I think we come up 4th after Showtime, IMDb, and Wikipedia. That's insane.
No kidding! Oh,
and if you and number 1 on YouTube. If you type in Dexter, you're the number 1 video on YouTube.
Shut the front door!
Above Showtime.
That's awesome!
I thought you were going to say.
Shut the front door.
I'm a classy lady. Mandy.
All right. So there you go.
Thank you so much for joining us, and that's awesome. Thank you for your support, everybody. We really, really appreciate it.
We love you too.
Next Monday, it will be at the same time we usually are, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for calling in, Tim, and everyone in the chat room, and we'll see you next week
On Stupid for Dexter.